Apologize for the long wait, guys. Just had to take the wonderful dog out this morning. Seemed like he really needed his bathroom break. But we're just about to get started here. I gotta say, October's been quite interesting. I'm sure you guys been in tune with everything that's been going on, especially with the whole Xbox fiasco. And let's go ahead and we'll get started with the show. So I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech, and right now it's been quite interesting for October, especially when it comes to the gaming side. Especially that Xbox decided to really push up the pricing with the new 360. And no, not that type of 360. In fact, it's $360 a year. About the whole Xbox Game Pass going up to $30 a month, which is pretty insane. And not only did they only try to adjust the pricing, but they also tried to adjust the different tiers, which I can certainly explain in just a bit. So, Bam guys, I gotta say, it's going to be quite interesting. There's rumors going on with a new Intel processor coming out very soon. There's quite a few different outlets out there that went to go visit Arizona's Intel's processing plant. As they went out there, they said it was quite impressive. So I'm really curious how and what is going on with Intel's plant, because it sounds like they got something up their sleeves, which is going to be more competitive, especially against something like AMD's newer processors. But again, time will tell. We'll see if Intel really does truly become that competitor that they once were. Because it's been about, I'd say like about three to four times we kind of had a little bit more confidence that Intel would make a strong comeback and eventually make its way to where they would line up both AMD and Intel, but for some reason they always ended up sticking with the same exact nodes and really didn't improve on the process side as we'd all hope. Always seen, especially when it came to the 13th and the 14th gen, especially, is a lot of instability, especially when it comes to RAM. And then when it came to the 15th gen, we just seen just a lot more of the whole economical side, where it became more of an efficiency type of processor, which people weren't looking for. They were looking for more performance, and they just didn't get that out of Intel. What's up, Wasabi? What's up, Sanchez? Morning, guys. Good afternoon. 5070 Ti made it home and sound. That is beautiful. I'm glad to hear that 5070 Ti made it in. Hopefully it was completely boxed in, as we all heard with Wasabi's coming to his house and ended up without the shipping box and even without the GPU box. Can you just imagine that? Just like having the whole GPU just sitting there, and they just say, well, there's nothing we can really do about the shipping side, but we can refund you for the shipping, which is pretty insane. What's up? What's up, Wasabi? There he is. Funny, speaking on his story story about everything with his GPU issues when that was coming in. And this happened a little bit a while ago, I think. It was like around with the 3080, I believe it was. That was my... yeah, that's insane. Luckily, it seems like when I do get deliveries, and it all depends where, specifically from, I'd say usually FedEx. FedEx is kind of messy. It could be either FedEx or it could go either way, to be honest, whether it's FedEx or UPS. I've had deliveries come in where the box is like completely wrecked, like where it literally looked like it fell off the truck twice. And I actually live streamed some of those boxings, which is quite insane. With those, like, how can you send out a product like that? At least have the decency to put it into another box, even if it fell off the truck. But as we all know, when it comes to package deliveries, they're all in a rush to deliver it directly to you, so that way there is no time delay. So that's probably more than likely the case, but still, if that product comes in damaged, you're the one that has to deal with it, which completely sucks. That's something that certainly should be, there should be some sort of resolution when it comes to that, especially if you're expecting a brand new product, and technically if it gets some sort of mishandled in some sort of way, it could cause issues later on, especially even though it looks fine, but you just don't know like what that product actually went through. What's up, Joe Mel? That was Takuma's 3090, not me. That delivery was coming from with the GPU box, but no outer box to hide the GPU. It's insane they sent it that way though, because there's not really much protection for anybody who's opened up GPU. You've seen that it's nicely encased and everything. It's in a foam packing, but it's not going to be able to handle like elements, or it's not going to be able to handle sitting on top of boxes that are the sizes of, like, say, like a washing machine. So to deliver it just in the GPU box itself is just insane. And I do have to say out there, I don't know if everybody has seen it, there's been some more announcements when it comes to motherboards. I'm a bit curious. I haven't really dug into it quite myself yet. I do have some new content that's going to be coming out soon. Right now I'm working on a couple, which is I'm still working on that cell phone video where it's going to be practically Samsung versus iPhone, and it's going to really compete the newest devices to see how well they match up with each other. I've been working on that for a little while, and it's a really long video. I'm hoping to expect to release that later today. And then there is the TPM 2.0 video that I also am going to work on. We can certainly expect that going to be a big thing, especially when Battlefield 6 is released, for those who don't know about the whole TPM 2.0 situation. And what that is going to be is you have to make sure that is completely on. And usually you'll know it's on. This is a tall tale if you know that Windows TPM is on is if you have Windows 11, but that's not always the case. There are ways around that too. They have ways to install Windows 11 without TPM. But to make sure, you just want to go into your BIOS settings to make sure that TPM is on, and that video will be out soon. So the S25 Plus is actually a great phone. Like competing the two, I'm really excited to show you guys like the capabilities between all the devices and see what you guys really think of, like how depending on what type of form and function that you're looking for. And it's pretty funny because some of the things that you would expect out the outcome, you wouldn't expect. So as far as I can remember, I don't think I've ever received any PC component exposed to delivery. The worst thing was the AORUS Ice motherboard being placed into Amazon's paper bag. That's Amazon trying to be efficient. And the paper bags are the worst because, again, like once that thing gets soaked, if it gets rained on, you know that motherboard's going to be wet. I can't believe they actually allowed that to be sent out that way. It seems like Power Color is also another manufacturer that's also interesting in competing, such as Sapphire, when it comes to motherboard releases. We have the new Gigabyte X3D boards have been recently released. MSI has announced, I'm glad Wasabi brought that up too into the Discord, which was that they also are coming out with a 5070 Ti with a more hidden connection, which is pretty much like inspired like from the whole Sapphire design, where the connection is actually inside of the GPU, meaning like on the top where it has like a shielding where you could cover it. This is a great item and definitely something to take advantage of, especially when it comes to if you're looking for more of like a less, like more like a cableless build, especially if you're thinking of doing like a stealth type of build, you want to go Gigabyte stealth, or if you want to go to ASUS's BTF line or even MSI's Project Zero, that will certainly make it a lot nicer. And I'm looking forward to seeing ASUS perfect it a bit more even when it comes to the GPU side, to where they're able to deliver nearly they have nearly enough power to where it can power on a GPU without using, say, the 12 volt high power port. Instead, it'll connect via through the specific graphics card where it's able to translate the power through the bus instead of actually going through the connection onto the GPU. But yes, power colors on their way to yes, and it's pretty crazy because they're coming up with motherboards, which I can certainly introduce. I know ASUS has been talking about releasing some motherboards. I've seen like snippets of it, but I haven't got to really dig into it quite yet because I think they announced more last night, if I'm not mistaken, which we can certainly look for. I'm certain that MSI has new refreshes on the way. Expect that and practically MSI, when they did talk about their motherboards here, they said that be prepared for the new Ryzen 10,000 series, because once they are out, that they will be compatible with their boards. So it's pretty obvious. Well, they didn't say it exactly like that. It's more like they said that their boards are ready for future Ryzen CPUs. So we all know that it sounds like more promising that AMD is certainly going to announce something like the AMD 10,000 process. And we will more than likely hear about that in CES 2026, which we will certainly go to, and we will definitely take a look at what AMD has to offer. I'm curious if they will speak on behalf of RDNA 5, and that would be the really exciting thing about AMD. I have a good indication that they will. It's definitely a good opportunity for them to take advantage of, especially that you have a lot of other manufacturers, such as even Samsung, you have Fission even, and you have all these other manufacturers that's involved, NVIDIA especially, into the whole AI aspect. In fact, this is a funny thing I have to say, is that even Fission says if they really go full out on this whole AI aspect, that they're going to expect like a shortage, and it's going to obviously raise up the prices of the whole for SSDs if this happens, but they're going to put a lot more focus into the whole AI development, which means less SSDs. But the good thing is that there was another topic that was brought up, which was interesting, is the whole having more terabytes, which is something we can certainly see when it comes to PCs, especially because now it's pretty insane to really think that we've been holding on to like 1 terabyte as the standard for quite a bit of time. Probably since, I'd say, maybe, let's see, at least 6-7 years at the minimum. What's up, Matthew? What's up? What's up? Oh, sorry, I got confused with power color. Yeah, colorful. Yes. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm kind of really curious to see what ASUS has announced here. I'm curious about ASUS. I'm curious about what these new color motherboards are going to be. Colorful motherboards. And we will take a look at it right here. Is it these ones? It must be these ones. I know Colorful has their own line, which we're just about to enter the whole stream browser phase here. And let me move the chat over so I can see you guys here. Or let me move this over. There we go. Beautiful. So they have the iGame X870. And I don't think this product's going to be like really out there or available for those, like not in every market, obviously. This is going to be in a much smaller market because Colorful is in more of China's market, if I'm not mistaken here. But they got some quite interesting designs and really unique designs. So have you seen Amazon France has shipped out? Yes, that's actually a good topic to bring up too, because I've seen that they've released like at 3 weeks. I think it's like about 3 weeks in advance. No, yeah, like almost like a little bit over 2 weeks actually. So they've been releasing these Xbox Ally Series Xbox Ally X Series X devices out to everybody here in France. They've been posting up pictures about it, and it's pretty insane. I can't believe those guys ended up getting it. Yeah, yeah, tell me about it. And they got the Arc Frozen. Now let me get back into here, and then we'll end up talking about the whole line when it comes to ASUS, which I'm curious about. I'm surprised. Let me see. ASUS's, because usually what'll happen, was it their tough line? Let's see. ROG components. Nope. Nope. I'm curious because I know they had something last night. They went live, so that's the reason why I saw it. But I didn't get to watch it, and I'm sure that there's probably some sort of mention in there. But it seemed like it did have a snippet about motherboards. So let me see. And that's what I'm really curious about, because I have a feeling, because Gigabyte came out with theirs, they're like one of the first ones that did. You know that MSI is coming out with their version of it, and you know ASUS will definitely certainly compete, because as you know, it's a cutthroat industry. They are ready to release whatever they can. Here we go. New ASUS. Where's that? No. We've seen this, right? The As You Wish boards. I brought this up on Wednesday. The As You Wish boards from ASUS look like this. I can get it when someone got the Xbox Ally X before. I know. That's the insane part. Like, if for anybody out there in the European region, more than likely you guys would probably end up getting it early, unless there is a strict... unless they already threw the chains on it and said like, hey, like you can't release this product anymore. Yeah, you have to end up you have to hold this back until a certain release date. Has people still been ordering and releasing it? So yo user Ion says, yo man, should I get the RX 6650 XT or the 7600? I would say if you had the choice between the two, I would go with the. I would say go with the 7600. Let me check the specs again with this. It's not the XT, no, just the 7600. Let's see. Let me see here. It's only 8 gigabytes. It's 2048. Yeah, like for something like that, you might as well just go 16 gigabytes. It's still only 8 gigabytes. You're practically going to be wasting money, because the chat's completely correct here that you gotta spend just a little bit more. You want to get 16 gigabytes as the minimum. Especially for next year when it comes to the whole gaming side, you're going to see a lot more VRAM usage. I can certainly tell you that, especially because now developers are experimenting with newer cards. And not that they haven't already. We've seen evidence of it when it came to like Borderlands 4, and we've seen evidence of it when it comes to other games, even like Metal Gear, Snake Eater. Even though that's a remake, it's quite demanding. So it's definitely a good idea to get at least 16 gigabytes of VRAM now instead of the 8 gigabytes. 8 gigabytes, they make it sound like it's a standard type of GPU to use, but I wouldn't suggest it myself. But yeah, all the guys here are correct. So definitely go with the 9060. What's up, Rebecca? Welcome in. And also, feel free, if you have any questions about PC builds or if you want to ask any questions, you certainly can go ahead. And I do have to say, what I want to add on to this whole Xbox Game Pass mess. This is what's going on too. And this is pretty funny. That Microsoft also said, all right, so since nobody wants to purchase Xbox Game Pass, what we will do is we're going to take away some of the special perks for the people that don't have the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So they're no longer going to get like 10% off DLC, and they're no longer going to get like 10% off like certain other items, and that we'll make sure we'll slam them with advertisements like as soon as they start their Xbox, which already has started happening. So where if you turn on your Xbox, it's practically an ad for themselves saying like, oh, if you get Xbox Ultimate, you can get so many items, and you can get the day one pass, which they really try to push, and they felt that the timing was great for this, especially for when it came to Black Ops 7, because that's going to be released soon. Because of Black Ops 7, they said we want to, if you get the Ultimate Game Pass, then you can be able to be on, you could play Black Ops 7 day one. And plus, you can definitely get involved with the beta. So they try to loop people in this direction, which is completely wrong. And not everyone's going to fall for it. Of course, you're going to have some of the people out there who are just like some really diehard Xbox fans. Like I know somebody, which is pretty insane, that he's willing to, he doesn't see a problem with it. Instead, his response was like, it's not that bad. But honestly, that's terrible. I mean, how can anyone fathom paying $30 a month for something like that? So 7600 non-XT, I kind of figured that because we were just so RX 66 XT dead on arrival. RX 7600 XT isn't produced anymore, and the RX 9060 XT is definitely especially because it's a newer card and you have much more compatibility, as that will get more constant updates, and you have certain advantages too, because you'll be on you'll have you'll be on AFMF2, and you'll also have what's it called? Now it's slipping my mind. You'll have Fidelity FX, and you'll also have FSR4. Those are the main keys, especially if you go with 9060 XT. So we got two guys that live in Italy. ASUS Strix X870E, 2TB Samsung 9100 Pro, Astral 5090. Do you think I'm overspending? Are there any changes that you would make in that cart? About oh man, that's a monster build. Everyone will certainly give you thumbs up for this, because that's insane. If you're overspending, you're gonna have a monster build. Plus, you're gonna have like a brag and right, Slim Shady. Now, I do have to say this. I remember you did mention that you wanted to go with this like this really tough build. If you definitely could. Now, again, like as I mentioned to everybody, before you do spend the money, make sure that you will take a full utilization of everything. And meaning, like, you want to, if you know in the future, or you do plan on it, getting say 4K monitors that are very high refresh rate, like say 240 hertz, like you get two of them. You want to make sure to really maximize your benefits, especially if you end up getting such a tough build like this. But yet that I can't really say no to that. And share everybody with what type of usage you're using your PC for too, because I'm sure the chat would love to know. So I will be upgrading from a laptop with i7-13650HX. Should I use a i7-12700F or a Ryzen CPU? Go Ryzen. To be honest, just go Ryzen. What is your use for it, by the way? Just to ensure. But more than likely, I would say Ryzen's going to fit most people out there. Especially because it's still, you're still on the upgrade path. If you go back to, you're going to end up falling nearly 2 generations behind, which I will explain in just a bit. So Takuma was just saying Microsoft effed up big. Just imagine now, you pay $800 for Xbox Series X and $360 for Game Pass for a year, and $300 for a 1TB SSD expansion. You end up paying $1,640, and you didn't even buy an $80 game. Absolutely. And you know what the defense is when they have Xbox Game Pass? Well, I can play all the games I want for free. Well, it's not free, which was kind of like the whole oxymoron of everything, because when somebody, and that's the thing, they always say, oh, like, well, Xbox Game Pass, if we pay $30 a month, we can play any game we would like for free. Like, do you know how that sounds? It's not free. You're still paying something. And you're not even owning it, which is insane. 3D and rendering and coding, exactly. So strictly F1 simulator and flight simulator, which is something that certainly can take advantage of the RTX 5090. You can have like one crazy setup, like one hell of a setup, especially with that type of build. Now, going back to what Sultan is talking about when it comes to the motherboard side, anybody that's thinking of going to Intel's 1700 socket 1700, which is practically going to be falling back on Raptor Lake and also going to be back in Alder Lake. Those two processors plus the refreshes, you're practically going to be 2 generations behind if you want to go ahead and do that build now. Because when you really think about it, Intel is currently on Intel's the newest one, which is going to be Arrow Lake. And with Arrow Lake, again, completely different socket. It's on LGA 1856 now. No, not 1856. Yeah, 1856. And then they're going to push it up to 1918 now, I think it is. Or 19. It's another odd number. But they're going to push up the sockets and change it up again. So technically, that's why I said 2 generations behind. Now, they're going to do a refresh series right now with the whole, with Arrow Lake. But I don't think it's going to be a big thing because everybody's going to wait for 18A, which is Intel's newest processors, where they have a code name called, like, they're making it sound very menacing and almost like going to be one of their top CPUs because they call the new one Intel X, like almost like a project. So it makes you curious to see what they will unveil. It's not going to be within this year. Obviously, maybe they'll announce a little bit of it in CES. They'll talk about Panther Lake, and they'll also talk about the new, what is it, Panther Lake, and there's another one too, right after. But they're going to be talking about those two, probably at CES, and that's supposed to be very competitive with Ryzen, but I'm curious about the cost, and I'm also curious about when the release date will arrive, if it's going to be right with Ryzen, if they're going to try to wait for AMD to release their 10,000 series and then drop it then. But yeah, there's a lot to be told, especially when it comes to Intel. So if anybody's thinking of doing any type of Intel build, and especially if it's your first PC, I would say first off, the more safer bet is definitely going AMD, especially if you're thinking of doing some sort of gaming build, or even if you're using it for things like simple things like productivity, because you're definitely future proof and you know it's there and it works. Versus Intel, which we're not too sure what's going to happen, and that they're going to practically abandon and scrap every project before this whole new Intel X that's going to drop. So strictly F1 stimulator and 4K monitor and VR, that's the right way to go, and you will certainly be able to take advantage of it that way. I've never believed for a second that a subscription method was sustainable. Just look at Adobe, Netflix, and Spotify. Once they hook you, they'll start raising prices and adding tiers. And that's the crazy part. With Xbox Game Pass, there's now 3 tiers. And even though you pay for the mid-tier, which is at $21.99 currently for Xbox Game Pass, you still get the ads, which is pretty insane. You're paying for ads. So they're saying you can enjoy everything that practically the first tier has, but you just have the ads with it. And you also, so if you're probably downloading, just imagine you just go download a game and you want to go play your game. And can you imagine if an ad pops up, like you can't go play your game now, like for like a good like 2 or 3 minutes before you could go into your game? So I always paid for Xbox Live just to play online, and that's it. New to Intel Lake in 2028. Geez, like, no, I am not kidding. New Intel Lake. Cheese Lake. Are you serious? That would be... Intel has some weird names for their processors. They have an exception. I gotta say, they have a weird, really weird obsession when it comes to lakes. Like, everything has been lakes recently when it's come to with Intel. And again, I've never heard of Panther Lake. Originally, I know that they have these other lakes that they do actually exist in real life, but now, except Raptor Lake, that was a weird one too. Like, who would think of a lake with raptors in there? So, getting back to this real quick. Let's see. So, oh yes, and that's something I did want to speak on here is when it comes to the supers. So, Lisa says, I got a question. I'm planning to on a build a new PC. I'm thinking about which fans to choose myself. I'm looking at Vertex M25 G2s, but people say they're noisy and stuff. What do I think? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take a look together at this whole. We'll look together on the Vertex fans, the M25 G2s. And if they're noisy, it's possible. The reason being is because you want to look at this CFM rate and the decibel rate. That's how you know how loud a fan really is. So we're gonna go over to the streaming side real quick. We're gonna go stream the browser, and this is what she's talking. Oh, I'm assuming, or she. I'm sorry, she is talking about. And here's the specifications. And this is what you want to look at right here. You're going to see a hydraulic bearing. That's great. And it is a bit loud as it is at 35.13 decibels. Now, that can be a bit louder. Tell the peeps on Discord hi. Oh, they're here. I'm pretty sure they're in here. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. So, oh, you know what? We should unveil that. We should unveil that, Takuma. We got to show that. We got to show the wood. That's what it is. Maybe that's the one we're thinking of. Oh, thanks for subscribing, Matthew. Appreciate it. But not the RGB version. Yes. So, Vertex is good. They are great when it comes to their fans. Now, if noise really matters a lot to you, and it depends, do you care about RGBs? I'll have to ask you that. Because if you compare this, right, they also have Noctua. Noctua is a great option for those who care more about silence. And I mean, you'll cut your sound in half if you go Noctua. Also, another great option, Corsair is also great when it comes to their line, especially when it comes to their MX line. Originally was the MX line, but I know they've renamed it recently. But again, they're a bit expensive, and you do pay for the price of RGBs. Plus, you have to use IQ, which I know you may not want to do. Another great one to actually get, I would say, is Thermaltake is pretty decent as well. Thermaltake has some great fans that you can get that are nice and silent. Also, another tip too I can say is if you also care about noise quality. If you get larger fans, instead of getting instead of getting like say 320 millimeter fans, you can go 140 and you'll notice the sound reduce. So I'll show you what I mean, because as you see, this one's 120 millimeters, which is 35.13, and we'll look at 140 millimeter version, which I bet is going to be more quiet because their rotations are actually going to be less, but you're also still pulling pulling the same amount of air, just with less rotations. And this, wow, actually, that's uncalled for. That's unusual. Usually, if you go bigger, it should be less noisy. At 36.4, that's unusual. That usually doesn't happen. But if you usually go bigger, it doesn't do that. Now, you'll get that full noise if you're going 100% the whole time. So you can imagine if you're using it probably like 50 or 60%, it's more like around the 20 decibel range. So I think Vertex D30 are the better choice, but not the RGB version. RGB, yes. If you're not preferring RGBs, I feel Noctua is certainly the way. And it depends on your budget too. Is build a wind tunnel in your house like Formula 1 and test the aero of their cars as you build the PC in your tunnel. Yes, that's an excellent idea. Why not, right? That's you'll have less energy. You definitely don't need a lot of power to do so. Now let's take a look at the T30 right here. and we'll go to the specification side. And it's probably not going to be as expensive. 31.8, which is a lot better. And that's like the average you'll see a lot of fans at. Around 30 decibels is pretty average, like pretty much like an average number when you see most PC case fans. What's up, Xenomorphing? So I'm planning to build an MSI Trio 5070 Ti with i7-14700KF. In my country, it's $180 less than. I don't really play newer games that are CPU bound. Okay, so that's a great question, especially for anybody that is getting into the whole PC building phase. If you don't really play newer games, you could do that technically. I know you don't play newer games, but I can say this. This is what I forewarned everybody about. I just actually spoke on it, and really thinking about it. If you're just strictly using it for just gaming, I would highly suggest going to the Ryzen series, because then it prevents your PC from going out of date. Because Intel, again, now, like if you go 14700F, just say, it's technically like 2 series behind. So you're going to end up being like 2 generations behind. If you go AMD, in case if they ever do upgrade, you'll still, like say you want to go 10,000 series, you can, because it's still a very available generation. And eventually when AMD does go to a new generation, then you're only technically 1 generation behind compared to Intel, where you're going to be like 2 generations behind, and even possibly like 2 generations behind. And that's going to, but then again, if it doesn't matter to you, if you're only playing like strictly competitive games such as like say Counter-Strike 2, or if you're playing games such as like like Dota 2, like any of those games where it's just like more about frames more than anything, then I would say just go ahead and get the Intel 14700F if you're on a more tighter budget. So I really don't care about the noise. I care more about, say, the performance of the fan. And RGB, I plan on getting the 120 millimeter and 140. So you're building on top of an H6. So you don't really care about the noise. You want to care about performance. So now let's go back here, because we're going to look at the CFM. That's what you want to look for in a case fan. Now, depending where you place it, as we were actually speaking on this on actually behalf on a lot of anyone that is building a PC, you can also get reverse fans too, depending on the H6. I believe on the H6, no problems in xenomorphing. So on the H6, if I remember correctly, that's more of a traditional design, where you're going to have the fans in the front, and you also have fans on the top. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. So let's take a look at the H6, and we're going to take a look at the case, because if I remember NZXT, we just worked on H6 not earlier in this year, and the H6 looks something like this. Here goes a good example with all the lights on it. More of like your traditional type of your fish tank design. And here it is. Right there. So it looks just like this. For anyone who's curious about what the H6 looks like. We worked on it earlier this year. If anybody saw the 5070 install, this is the same exact case. So you have the fans here on the side, and you have this. So it's good to have reverse fans here, because then you won't get you see how you have the black chassis? If you get reverse fans, you don't have to see that. Instead, you'll just see all this on your PC. You don't have to see the back of the fan. You could actually have the fan showing. And plus, if you want decent performance, we actually spoke about this actually. Vantex actually makes some reverse fans, which are certainly excellent, which we will show you. Oh, thanks a lot, Wasabi. Always appreciate you. Vantex. Much love to Wasabi. I do like wasabi though. Here we go. Okay, so let me bring up the chat here. And these are reverse fans too. which are again the D30s, just like what Wasabi mentioned. And I mean Takuma mentioned. So right here, D30s are a great choice because then you can also get the reverse version of them, which right here, air moves from the rear to the front. And what's useful about that is it's going to, instead of having, again, the back of the fan like this, which I can pull out, a reverse fan, which I have one sitting here. This one's a Gigabyte one. Where is it? Right here. I actually got this with the motherboard. I don't put it on because then it just adds bulk and it just makes the GPU look extremely weird. Yes, exactly. That's exactly the reason. By the way, I play more single player games like Detroit, Battlefront 2, and some NBA. About to get a new generation, so I'm about to update the CPU in 3 to 4 years anyway. Buying a new motherboard isn't that much of a difference. Makes perfect sense. Makes especially if you enjoy building PCs, that's definitely the way to go. Because who doesn't? Especially when you go through the process. Reverse fan will look just like this. You could have it sit onto the side of your case. Everybody with the RTX 5090 knows exactly what this is, especially if you had the AORUS Master. It'll actually spin. You see how it'll spin this way and clockwise instead of spinning counterclockwise. So if you get a fan like this, it'll sit on the side of the case like this direction instead of the back. You see? And if you, instead of the back, it's going to make it look much more less aesthetically pleasing compared to just like this. Plus, you get the performance that you're expecting out of it, and it's less noise. So those are all great cases about when it comes to the whole D30. Now, if you're looking to the front, you can also get the regular speed fans or the regular traditional type of case fans, and it will match completely with your build. So yes, Gigabyte. It's funny because like all brands, like when it comes to this, like it's so unusual when you see like Gigabyte fans like this, where you see like the ASUS or MSI fans. It's not as common because you always go to the bigger guys. You go to Fantex, you go to Thermaltake, you go to Height, you go to Corsair, you go to all these fan companies, not Tua, which I really want to do this Project Stealth. I'm in the process of talking to another company right now and see what they can do for us. It might be part of Project Stealth, it might not be. It might be actually part of the Intel build that's just like been sitting there, kind of like collecting dust, which is Intel's Arrow Lake, so to say. I'm trying to wait on this whole refresh series, but not much has been said about it. And we're already like almost like, what, 4 days into October and nothing. So the M25s have reverse blade fans, and the configuration they have is a 3x 120mm as intake and 3x 120mm as exhaust on the AIO, and 2. Okay, so M20, yes. So they have the so you sound like you're locked in for the M25s. Hey, if that's what you want to go for, I get it. They look a bit, they can look nice, but like I said, the only thing is, if you don't really care about noise, go for all for it. Again, let's actually compare the airflow, so that way you can get a better idea. So when it comes to the airflow, you get about 84.26. Now, when you build with a AIO, you're going to look at air pressure. That's going to be important, which is at 2.67 millimeters per H2O, right? Now, if you're looking at, say, the D30, what's up, Amir? Yeah, I've been great. I hope you've been just as well. ASUS fans are a great value. They are. Now, they are a great value, actually. Yeah, I'm locked into the G2, but I need assurance that they're actually good fans and they won't break. No, if you're getting Fantex, I wouldn't worry about that. Fantex is awesome for what they do. They really are. Now, when it comes to air, see, this is a bit better. Just to let you know, You see 2.72 millimeters at HO, and then you got a CFM 61.5. And let's go back. What am I going to? The G2, right? I'm just making sure the G2. The G2 is definitely has to be the improved version. And for the G2, you get 2. So you still get less. You get better airflow though. 72.72 versus. So this would be good for the case. This is definitely good for the case. 72.2 versus. Okay. Oh wait, I went to the same one. That's my fault. Go back to D30 real quick. Specifications. Oh, I appreciate it, Xenomorph. I really do. Also, I have membership tiers that have just recently released. If you, again, nobody has to do it, but just to let you know, you can be part of the fan bam, be an exclusive premium member if you'd like. And no, it's not going to be $30 a month. I'm not Xbox Game Pass. So let's go ahead and go down here and go to the spec side. That's odd. I must have hit something else here. D30 specs. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now for the max air pressure, 2.72, 61.5. So yeah, so if you really compare the two, the D30s are definitely a bit better on performance, but not a ton. It's not going to be super noticeable. The only real noticeable thing you're going to notice is going to be the noise. But I'll tell you, if you get this for your AIO, it will be better because you have it improves it by a quarter, more like an eighth. It improves it by like an eighth. And if you do that, that can get you better temperatures. So, all well, just finished playing Battle. How is it? I gotta ask you, Amir, how was Black Ops 7? How does it feel compared to Battlefield 6? I have to say, did they borrow any designs from when it came to Black Ops 7 from Battlefield 6? So Queen Slayer says, hello bro, I have a Ryzen 5 3500X and RX 6600 XT and 16 gigabytes dual channel RAM. Is it good for $180? Yes. Yeah, that's honestly not that bad. For all that for $180, that's actually a great deal. But just don't expect to play like all the freshest modern titles. Unfortunately, like 16 gigabytes is becoming less of a standard, and now 32 gigabytes is more of the standard. That everybody needs to have at least 32 gigabytes in their system. But again, not a bad deal. $180. If you get another RAM module, it's not going to cost as much for it. I'm assuming you got the whole PC or just those specific parts. It's going to be 30. It's going to be 60. Yeah, instead of we're into the future. We're not doing 360 a year. Instead, we're just going to go 720. We're going full 720. Remember the rumors about Xbox 720? Well, here it is. I don't mind the noise for better temps. Okay. So as long as, if you don't mind it, okay. So that's the thing. Like when it comes to fans, some people are really particular when it comes to the fan noise. Some people hate it. Some people don't care because they're gonna wear their headset anyway and game, and you don't really pay attention to the noise. But or sometimes like you might be annoyed, and like depending if you have the PC like in like your bedroom, some people will have their PC in their bedroom. Then if that kicks on like in the middle of the night, for some reason you got that weird Windows update, and then it kicks on your PC, and then all the fans come on, it'll definitely wake you up. It's kind of like, you know how people used to complain about, actually it's still now to this day, how PlayStation, how the fans would kick on, you would hear it immediately. It would sound like a jet starting up. And that's the fan noise. That's all fan noise there. What's up? What's up, Tabish? So, feels like Black Ops 2, a more finished, polished version of Black Ops 6. That's interesting. That's a very interesting way to describe it. Did you like it? I have to ask. It's funny, but that's the biggest selling point that Xbox Game Pass is pushing. If you pay $30 a month, you could have Black Ops 7, all the DLC, and all you have to do is pay $30 a month. It's insane. Like, just 2 months could buy you a game practically. But Lisu says, okay, thanks for your help. Anyway, quick question. I got Thermalright Frozen Note 360 for like $70. Is it good or overkill for the 90? No, definitely not overkill. Not overkill for the 9800 X3D. You want to keep that thing cool, especially when it comes to like when you're in heavier games such as like Unreal Engine 5. Like any games that use it, it uses quite a bit of processor use compared to like even with the GPU. So you'll actually see like pretty much like an even split like when it comes to GPU usage. Of course, it goes up to 100%. But when you play games with when you play games with Unreal Engine 5, you'll notice it. You'll notice that your CPU usage will go up. It can go up 30-40%, and you want to keep it cool. What's up, Tabish? Feel free to ask. It's okay. Black Battlefield 6 still kicks. I agree. The thing is that, honestly, personally for me, I'm sure everybody feels the same way. Everybody kind of feels like Black Ops is more of, or Call of Duty is more of like a social thing more than anything, because everybody has it. You can play with anybody because everybody has that game. Again, it's a social game. But the problem is you just get tired of the rinse and repeat method. It's always the same. It's like insanity. It's always the same. It's not really that different. You see little new things here and there. It could be a drastic difference from 10 years from now. Like if you're getting it from Call of Duty 10 years ago. But to get it every year is kind of really pointless. Especially that they don't refine it. And I feel like the most ridiculous expansion when it came to Call of Duty's franchise is when they went to Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3. It was practically a DLC, like a big super pack of DLC for for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3, which is ridiculous, and it was a full price game. So, no, it's all good, Egyptian. I'm glad you came in. Tabish says, I wanted to know if AM4 cooler will fit on an AM5. Yes. More than likely it will. It's pretty much like the same measurement for the most part. So you don't have to worry about that side of it. It's usually compatible when it comes to AM5. All right. No problem, Lisu. Thank you for coming in. What do you think of this build I'm thinking I'm making? Feel free to post it. I would love to. So if anybody else does need additional help and everything, we do have a Discord channel. Go down to the description box down below, click it, and you can be part of the wonderful Discord. You can reach out, ask for help, and a lot of our guys will be on there to help. Because again, that's all we talk about. We love PCs and builds, and plus you can show off your specs, your benchmarks, and you can even show off your PC, and even show off your PC live on YouTube Live or on Twitch or on X, depending on which platform you're watching on. So cool. Yeah, that's the thing. COD nor Battlefield haven't really been relevant in the years. So pretty cool. I gotta ask, what type of games do you like to play? Out of curiosity. So Blue Lily says, what do you think of this build that I'm making? It's a Kingston NV3 SSD, 2TB M.2, PCI Express 4, AMD Ryzen 7 9700X 3.8 GHz, ASRock. Okay. Scared me for a minute. My heart jumped because I saw ASRock. Because that's been almost like a meme practically in recent days when it comes to ASRock motherboards and AM5. But anyway, ROG Radeon RX 9070 XT, 16 gigabytes of G6 with a Steel Legend. Okay. So we all know how, if you don't know how I feel about ROG motherboards, I feel they're a bit, definitely a bit on the risk side. It's not definitely a great build. I gotta say, I do like the GPU. That I do. Motherboard, I feel kind of sketched out because ROG motherboards have been questionable as of lately. I know it's been specifically only a specific model of motherboard, which is going to be the Tai Chi. The Tai Chi AM5 motherboard is the one that is the most questionable. Now, with the Tai Chi, as long as if you're not getting that motherboard, then I would say you could go ahead and get it. Steel Legend is definitely definitely the better way to go. But and I haven't heard any negative issues when it came to the Steel Legend. So if you do decide to go with that build, you go ahead and can. But I personally, for me, I would say it's definitely better to go towards something at least like ASUS, Gigabyte, MSI, any of those brands there. When it comes to the motherboard side, as they have less problems when it comes to AM5. Just to say. And just to protect yourself. But again, I haven't really heard anything on the Steel Legend side, so I wouldn't really worry about it as much. So Egyptian Savage says, even if it's not different, I just like the game. I've been playing it for 9. I know, I get it. It's the thing about Call, again, it's more of a social calling than anything. Like, as soon as you know everybody you know has that game. Like, it's easy. You could go into Discord. You could go into the FanBam server and be like, hey, anybody wants to hop on and play Call of Duty? I guarantee you everyone has that game. It's just how it is. It's just turned into more of a social aspect. The only thing that I feel really hurt the game mostly is the casual gamers. The casual gamers kind of, I feel, take away the fun from it. But then again, that's my opinion. So, let's see. LSG says, would it be worth upgrading the X670E motherboard to X? No. I'll tell you right now. LSG, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to X670E to X870E. There's very few benefits to it. It's not going to be a large upgrade, so to say, because they just change out some components like USB 4. USB 4 is now 2 USB-Cs, which are necessary for the XM5. Not XM5. Well, necessary for the X870E. And they also change out the Gigabit Ethernet port up to at the maximum of not the maximum, the minimum of 5 gigabits. You have an upgrade on Bluetooth, but they do sacrifice some. They do sacrifice say like a PCI Express lane, or they might sacrifice like even the embedded sound like a different Realtek driver, and that is, again, not really worth it. You can always end up upgrading your Ethernet port if you want to. You can use PCI Express to upgrade it if you really needed to. Not really worth the upgrade, especially if you're not going to maximize internet speeds, or you take advantage of like the USB 4 speeds or USB-C speeds. So better post on Discord with the list and even on internet. I'm trying to get my best friend to the PC world, but it's hard teaching. I get it. I really do. It kills me. It's like, you know, the thing is, like what Egyptian Savage is saying, it's like everybody has that friend that's like a hardcore console player, especially they're on Xbox, right? And you tell them like, just go to PC, and they're like, oh no, it's so complicated. Why would I want to go to PC? What for? And I say, oh, try the ASUS ROG Ally, you know, the original one before the whole Xbox one, right? But he's like, you know, I'm tempted to get it. I don't really need it. And then as soon as the Xbox One comes out, it's the same exact thing, pretty much, for the most part. He's like, oh, I want to go get it. And it's more expensive, which doesn't make any sense at all. And that's how you know that how Xbox has its consumers. They know that they have those hardcore Xbox gamers. Same with Sony. They have the hardcore Sony gamers where they will end up going to get whatever Sony comes out with, or whatever Microsoft comes out with. So, and Blue Lily says Gigabyte C201 MIDI Tower, Gigabyte B850M, D3 HP motherboard micro ATX with AM5 socket, Gigabyte AORUS Easy Chain case fan. That's a decent one. I like that so far. Blue and Lily. I do like that build. ASRock has the least. I agree, but you can always remove it. It's not like you have to download the bloatware. Nobody has to have Gigabyte's Control Center. Nobody has to have MSI's Mystic Light or, well, MSI's Control Center practically now. And then nobody has to have Armory Crate. You don't have to have it. I know ASRock has certainly less software for it, but then do you really think it's worth the price of a 9800 X3D plus a motherboard to say? So have you, no, I didn't get to download it, but I will. I actually plan on going today. I'm definitely going to knock that out after I finish up my content here, which will be posted. I hope I get it posted today, which is going to be the S25 Ultra versus the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And yeah, some people out there may be surprised with the outcome. Some people may not be as surprised, which I'm excited to share. Of course, that's not going to be my typical tech video. I will still have more videos coming out as soon as tomorrow, and we will also have a video based on. Oh, I appreciate it, LSG. Much love. Thank you so much. That I hear you. So another thing is, on top of it, I will also be throwing out another video on the best deals, which are coming up really soon. So if anybody is looking to purchase new PC parts, just 4 days. Yeah, 4 days from now, or 3 days even, 3 days from now, that Amazon is going to have their Prime Day once again. They always do it in July, and they always do it in October. And for anyone in the U.S. region, Newegg will also have their version of Prime Day, which is like fantastic tech. And I'm sure Best Buy is going to compete, and Micro Center will certainly compete. And I will certainly, we might do a video or we may go live, depending on how we do it. But either way, it'll be fun. But yes, yeah, it's quite expensive to do a build. Nobody wants to spend extra money if they don't have to. I do agree with LSG. Is Gen 4 substantially cooler than G5? The heat worth performance upgrade. Now, I gotta say, Gen 5 doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to use it. No one's going to utilize Gen 5. Everybody who is building a PC, just go Gen 4. Gen 5 is completely not necessary now. They sell it to you like, oh, it's going to enhance your games. No, it's not. Not really. We even did a comparison with Gen 3 and Gen 4, and guess what? It was nearly identical. And the cooler MSI Mag Core Liquid A13, that's actually a decent cooler. Actually, with that cooler, I actually did like a whole MSI type of build, and it was excellent. It was really nice. It was a lot of fun to mess with, actually. What's your price of performance when to pick a used graphics under 150, 5700 X? I feel bad for anyone who does want to get it. What's your usage, Coffee? I have a 9800 X3D with the X870E AORUS Elite Wi-Fi. Everybody who's thinking of getting a new board, Gigabyte's X3Ds is certainly an excellent value. If you haven't seen it, it's a wonderful line, really. There's zero performance, and it's like the assume that they respect you enough, ASUS automatically installs a crate on my mouse. No, how's that? How did they do that? If you have a ASUS mouse, I do have to say this: if you have an ASUS mouse, they do have a light version out there. You don't have to get the full version of Armory Crate. The light version really isn't too bad, because all it is it will just detect your mouse and that's it. The full Armory Crate version is kind of like bloatware. It's like, what, like a 2 or 3 gigabyte install? It's insane. Yes, that's why I want to introduce it, Amir. I was about to get a ASRock motherboard. I know. It's practically a meme. I mean, even Japan said we're going to throw an extended warranty if you end up getting an ASRock motherboard. So that, I mean, It sounds nice, right? But it kind of worries you at the same time. If you're throwing an extended warranty, that's not necessarily always a good thing. So I will get the Samsung Galaxy S25 512 gigabyte smartphone. My current model is the S23. USB-C port is loose and I have connection. Oh, that sucks. That sucks when that happens, when you have connection issues. Samsungs are great phones, I have to say. Especially if you could get the Snapdragon version, that would be really nice. That's the one I'm comparing it to. If you get the Snapdragon version of the Samsung S25, you will certainly love it for the most part. The component Egypt has some crazy deals when it comes to the mini ITX PC. Is gold and black with the 5080. I gotta share that picture of it. I'd love to see it. That's pretty dope looking. So, because remember how ASUS came out with that gold version of a GPU, and they put it out for bid actually, and somebody actually ended up buying it. I remember I sent this into Discord. They bought it for like almost like, what was it, like 10,000? It's insane. Like, who would pay that much for a GPU, just for a gold GPU? If you're really good at painting, you can paint it gold. So, Gen 5 SSDs are good for productivity, but it's too expensive. I agree. It's great for productivity. Especially if you're into media. Like if you're into transferring video files, which can be quite massive, especially if you do 4K or 8K videos and you transfer between files, then it's good to have Gen 5. Like if you need it immediately, if it's all about your workflow, then it's worth getting Gen 5. But if you're going into the gaming side, you're using it for like spreadsheets, it's not going to do anything for you. You're not even close at maximizing potential at that point. Sure, Microsoft is coming out with something called direct storage, where it will take advantage of those type games where it will be able to utilize like PCI Express 5 speeds, but they're just not quite out yet. I'm like like Blue. You did a solid there. Going to Gigabyte's the right move. Oh really? I'm really tempted to get one in. I really am. I want to get one in now, just because they got me with the whole X3D thing. They just market it really well, especially that you get a 15 to 20% BIOS boost in performance. That the BIOS actually helps it in performance. I'm curious about like how the new AI overclock and everything is. I wanted to see like how much better can we get a PC. So that's definitely going to be on the list. Now, the 9070 XT, yes, it's absolutely a great GPU. If I were to nominate like GPUs, like if we did the GPU of the year, I would say the 9070 XT certainly deserves it. It's the best value, and it's definitely the best for gamers out there. Compared to even the RTX 50 series. RTX 50 series is expensive, but again, it's the value's not there. You're going to spend a lot more money on a RTX card where you're not getting the value that you expect out of the GPU. Especially you're just getting the extra frame generation you can take advantage of, but nobody in reality really uses the frame generation. And the RX 9070 XT is certainly a great GPU for those who just want to worry about just gaming. Now, the frames I got back after deleting Armory Crate was crazy. It tells you how much... Yes, that's the problem. Armory Crate is just like so power hungry. It doesn't make sense. They really got to come out with a better version of it to where it's much more lighter. And I will, you know what? And I will certainly bring that to attention for sure about the Armory Crate thing here. Also, the NVIDIA CPU overhead issues seems to show up more. Overheat issues. Yes, really, it's been happening once again. That's a bit of a pain. Did you get the... No, I did get the invite to get it, but I chose not to get it and then opt for it because I feel like I don't want to spend another $2,000 on a GPU. Plus, I didn't want to, especially if we're going to do another type of build. I have all these other projects lined up. I don't want it to take up so much of the supply of the project's money, and then we would have to wait to do another build. Instead, I'd rather focus on other spreading out the builds. Appreciate it.
ROG Xbox RTX 5090. The Habosi edition has actually 999 finesse 6.5 grams of gold plating.
That is a good point. Yes, it does have gold plating. It does have real gold plating. That is what it is. But it is insane, right? I appreciate the donation, Takuma. Always appreciate you guys. But yeah, that is insane, right? Can you imagine like having a GPU that actually has this? It has real gold in it. Like that's. Can you imagine if you saw that on like something like Facebook Marketplace or something, and they say, this is actually a real gold GPU. It's going to be, it's kind of smart to get it too, because it's going to end up being a collector's piece in the future. I guarantee you, just wait like 10 years from now, 10, 15 years from now, it's going to raise up in value, not just because it has like the gold in it, the whole gold plating, but the fact that this is like a very rare GPU, and that it's going to be like collectors are going to want it. And let's see. So the Matrix 5090 is sold in Egypt, and there was one that was 5 on Amazon Egypt for 9,000, sold out in 6. That's insane, really. 6 minutes, it sold out that quickly. So my build is mostly for coding and some gaming and slight schoolwork. So your build then is going to be quite perfect. You have all the right pieces together, especially for what you have listed. So I definitely say go ahead. You definitely made the right choice going Gigabyte, getting the 9700X. All great choices, and you will certainly see it, especially when you're going to love the performance, I have to say. The 9060 XT is probably the best under 500. It certainly is if you have to go to a lower tier. 9060 XT, specifically the 16 gigabyte version, is definitely the better one to go. Years ago, ROG Gladius mouse firmware update had Create Installer bundled with your automatically installed. I had to block. Oh wow! So you know what's funny? Him, Suneka, what he's talking about, which is pretty funny, is like, can you imagine that? Like you're buying a mouse, and then it's like all of a sudden you see like this like. A software update of like you getting like a armory crate all of a sudden pops up, like installing like as soon as you plug in that. That is, why would they do that? That's like they're trying not to sell it at that point. That's a terrible idea to anybody. Even Corsair doesn't do that to you. So you can check up for ASUS, certainly. I just found out via app I can get a discount thanks to being the employee to the company that I work for. I can get the. Oh, awesome! If you get the A7C, I would love to see pictures of it. Definitely post up on Discord. And if everybody's wondering, we do have a Discord channel. Feel free to go down to the description box down below, and it's free to join. Just click it, and it will take you to the Discord server. Once you go to the Discord server, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I only see 2 servers." Well, you go to the one where it goes to rules, and when you go to rules, just hit that check mark, and all the servers will unlock. You can feel free to post up pictures, feel free to ask questions. You need help with your build, you need troubleshooting, or you need any other issues, you can feel free to contact us on Discord. Now, so the TUF 5090 versus the Astral 5090. TUF is $300 more. Certainly is. Now, the thing is, I mean, $300 less. $300 less, I mean. The reason why the Astro is going to be much more, you're paying for the 4th fan that's on there. It does have like little extra features, such as like it has like the 12-volt high power port detection. Those are the things that you're really paying for. It's like the extra bells and whistles, so to say, like when it comes to a GPU. And it can certainly stay cooler because it has, again, the 4th fan to help it stay cooler. But performance-wise, I can say, if you're looking to get a cheaper 5090, it's not going to be that much more of a difference if you go with a TUF. In fact, the performance will be it's not going to be insanely different going TUF, because you're certainly not going to experience any like thermal throttling, because when it comes to the cooling side, ASUS is pretty good with that. I've never seen really issues when it comes to overheating or anything. Plus, you still have the NVIDIA RTX 5090 PCB really in there. So you're still getting the same exact performance. You're only paying really for the extra shroud and the extra bells and whistles that are featured with the Astral. Now, which component should I buy first? The first component that anybody gets when it comes to building a PC, you want to start off with getting your processor and the motherboard. That's like the most basic. As long you want to kind of shape it around what type of GPU that you're getting. And since you already have that already narrowed down, then just get the processor and the CPU. So the whole 8GB, 16GB thing, and NVIDIA has been doing the past two, is a bit slimy in my opinion. Most people will not notice it on the on the listing if they're not tech literate. Yeah, that's very true. See, you know, Coffee Enjoyer brings up a great topic because I don't like the fact that AMD marketed the 9060 XT that way, because it's either 8GB version or the 16GB version. And then when it comes to the 9070, it's kind of clear because you have the RX 9070 and then the RX 9070 XT. It's obvious the XT is going to be something different, so you know right off the bat. You thought they would follow through with the same with the RX 9060 and the 9060 XT. It's just common sense. But instead, they just go 9060 XT on both models, on both the 8GB and 16GB model. So if you are purchasing or planning to purchase a 9060 XT, make sure to get the 16GB model and double check it. Check out the tech specs to make sure it is the 16GB model and you're not getting the 8GB model. So, right, we're getting it pre-built. Logitech CEO, 1 or 2 years proposed a subscription for using their mouse. Yes, that is true. Yeah, that is insane. Like, that makes absolutely no sense, right? How can you put a proposal to have a subscription fee? In fact, Microsoft even thought of it. No surprise, right? We just spoke about the whole debacle about the whole Game Pass, and that they were originally going to charge per month when it comes to Windows. Can you imagine that? You had to pay per month using Windows. Otherwise, you would be out of your license. So they were going to charge like $11 a month, and you would have to pay for Windows every month just to use it. So that ended up kind of backfiring on them, and they never pulled it through, thank God, because that would just be terrible. I think everybody would end up being Linux users, to be honest. So, is the RTX 5060 and the Ryzen 5 7500F a good combo for a budget build? It is, but the thing is, if you really want to go GeForce, you want to get RTX 50 series, get at least the 5060 Ti, or at least the 5070 Ti. Those two I would recommend. Don't get the standard 5060. You're not really going to notice that much of a difference. Hey, currently building a PC Ryzen 9800X3D with a 5080, but don't know what motherboard would be good. Currently they have the MSI X870E Tomahawk, excellent choice, in mind, but here as Wi-Fi and LAN connection issues. Any recommendations? Well, Crow, you came to the right place, because I do have to mention that they do have Gigabyte's new X3D line. It's definitely awesome. They have different variants, which we could go live. We could go right here to show you. And it's pretty great, actually. We're going to go to the Stream browser here so I can show you exactly what it looks like. I'm trying to put everybody on this because I think it's pretty much a really good board. Now, they're going to have like quite a few different models of it. Now, they have the AORUS Elite where it's only $379, right? This one's all black one, depending if that's what you're looking for, black or white. You pay a little bit more of a premium if you get the white version. And this just released like about a week ago, I would say. And this is something I would highly recommend. Gigabyte's been excellent when it comes to their motherboards. And I would say this is something to certainly check out. They also have the more expensive higher end ones, but I feel this is closer to the whole Tomahawk range that you're looking for. So let's see. Chris, do you want to do a little challenge, PC builder to PC builder, who can make the best PC budget? Yeah. Yeah, sure. We could certainly, you know, it's funny because we were talking about this. We were talking about doing PC Simulator 2 just to see what would happen. But that's a great idea, Egyptian. I do like it. So, not the case. No. You don't have to get the case first. The case is very obtainable. That's why I wouldn't suggest getting the case first. Not really necessary. The motherboard and the processor are definitely the more harder parts to get. Same with the GPU. You want to go for the components because the case will be the very easy part to get. So why is, tell me about it. It's like he must know that my streaming time. So he's like, oh, let me go cut the grass right now. It always just seems that way. It's always on Saturday morning he decides to cut the grass. Parts list, we got 20 minutes. Honestly, it's hard to actually recommend pre-builds as well. You never know what's weird issues or if you have BIOS updates available, proprietary connectors. Yes, exactly. Well, I wouldn't recommend pre-builds as much. Pre-builds are for those, especially if you're looking for a tighter budget, just say. You can definitely get a pre-build for that, but honestly, I feel like PC building has become even easier, especially now. It's not as hard as it used to be, especially because now you can do everything practically toolless. Everything when it comes to installing CPUs, when it comes to installing SSDs, you don't need a screwdriver practically anymore. You can install everything by hand. The only time you would really only need the screwdriver is to really put the fans on and really just to put a couple fans on. And because everything's magnetic now, makes it easier for the connection, less wired connection. So I wouldn't say I would recommend pre-build as much, but I would definitely say building a PC isn't as hard as it used to be. It's definitely much more easier and compared to what it used to be. Because building a PC about 20 years ago was a different story, for sure. What's up, Ryujin? Glad to see you. Welcome in. So, Wasabi said, yeah. By the way, I finally got my first gaming PC. Oh, did you? How is it? How do you like it? Need more micro centers. Never been to one. Amazing deals there. Absolutely. Eventually we will go to one soon. Just again waiting on parts. I'm dying here because once we get some parts, we could definitely do like a micro center trip and take a look to see what we can get. Funny enough, looking into Gigabyte motherboards. Oh really? Yeah, no problem. I'm ordering from a local online shop. It's about 16-20 euros. That's well, if you're ordering from the online shop, that's probably not that bad. Doesn't sound too terrible. Want to do it right now? PC parts picker and choose the price. Maybe in a little bit. Just make sure I'll do it right when we get the downtime. How's that sound? Because just in case if anybody does have questions, I don't want to leave them hanging. If you live in EU, your orders Amazon Germany hardware is a little bit cheaper compared to other markets. I know I have a Corsair RM850X power supply at 0 RPM mode. Does not spin often. Warm to touch. Should I worry? No, not. I wouldn't worry as much. Even though it has the 0 RPM mode, the fan should only kick on if it really gets hot. That's the only time it should kick on. With Corsair, they come out with very solid power supplies, so I wouldn't really worry about the fan not really kicking on. Again, they're designed to be silent, and that's why they have it designed that way. The fan should only kick on like when there's really heavy load, and even if it does, you might not even notice it. Most power supplies are really not too noisy, I have to say. Change some parts, but dig the aesthetics. What do you think about AM4 builds for budget builders still? I'm starting to kind of lean off the whole AM4 side. It's not going to technically be a budget build anymore if anyone goes AM4. In fact, when you go AM4 now, it's going to be a bit more costly because the parts aren't going to be as available as much. And now that they're also going to be pushing up, not just on controllers when it comes to NVMEs, but eventually they're going to end up pushing, which they already have for DDR4, is push up the pricing on DDR4. It's going to be much more expensive compared to, say, DDR5. Even though the pricing comparison isn't going to be like very large if you really look at between the two, between DDR4 and 5. So I would say just go, I would go towards 5 because next thing you know, we're going to end up into the whole new generation. And when that does happen, you won't be 2 generations behind because it's like getting to that point. We're nearly to that point as it is. So I would highly suggest that if anyone's thinking AM4, don't do it. Just use the little extra money or just try to cater your cost around a build that would be AM5. So shipping is also terrible. So, you know what? This is what I do. I can understand the shipping part because shipping wise can be crazy. It can be like if you ever see how PCs are shipped, like even like when I ship PCs, it's a lot of different type of foam and different hardware you have to put in. Thanks for the subscription, Cruz. It's a lot of extra like foam, a lot of extra like even like shipping you really have to get through to make sure the PC arrives safely, especially if you're shipping it as a whole with the GPU installed. So if you see shipping is kind of expensive, I could see the reason why. It's a lot of material that's being used when it is being sent out, depending on where it's getting sent from. Now, if you could pick up, that's even better because at least it's more secure that way compared to relying on a shipping carrier to ship it safely to your house. But I would highly recommend pickup if you can. Shipping is going to be expensive no matter where it is. Like if I were to ship a PC, like I could say like through the states and say like it's only 5 states away, I could easily spend about like $150 on shipping on my side with material. So I could see it can be very expensive to ship. DDR4 prices are rising. DDR is almost if not expensive. Yeah, AliExpress has 100. Oh, really? That's insane. Well, they're trying to make money in some way. And new standards. In the voice call with my friend, I'm trying to teach him PC right now. Oh, really? What's the website you were talking about? Spending $12.60. Yeah. Feel free to share it. What's up, Pac-Man? Good to see you. Shipping in PC with GPUs. Yes, I'm always nervous. Like as soon as I shipped one a couple months ago, luckily it came in really nice. Dang. I was thinking if I had pictures of it, it would be nice. I know I got some pictures of it. If I do, let me see if I can pull some up actually. Maybe I have some. And if I do, I'll share you what it looked like shipping a PC. I'm telling you, it's like if you saw everything that goes through it, you would feel that it is crazy. Here we go. Okay. So this is the PC here, which I will share in just a bit. Just give me a moment. Okay. All right, so we're going to go back into the browser side. So this is the PC. Everyone's familiar with this PC, the RX 9070 XT. I had a friend that was in need of shipping a PC, so we had to end up shipping this out to them. So it's also Poland and Cyprus, I believe. People shipping a PC with components. Yeah, absolutely. So this is it, right? So for example, this is what it's going to look like inside the PC. You see, it has to have like ESD kind of packaging inside of it. All ESD foam, right? Just to make sure that it's mounted correctly, that it doesn't move anywhere, so it has to be secured. Yeah. Your girl's Sapphire, it's beautiful, right? And then, when it comes to the whole shipping side, goes back into its original box. And then, on top of its original box, it has to pretty much get, pretty much like saran wrapped. So you get put into a heavy duty box, and then finally you get the wrapping all over it. So you can see how much material is being used when sending out products such as this. So it also has to be double corrugated. It can't be like a single corrugated box because it's going to end up ripping right through. And there's a ton of also material that goes into the original box, then going into the second box. So it got there perfectly safe. There was no real damage to the box, which was nice. And that was like the first part of the experiment. Because eventually I do want to try to ship out internationally to see how well that does. Just out of curiosity, see if it can be done. And but I would imagine it would be quite costly to ship internationally as well. What's up, Jimmy the Third? I was getting nervous with my Astral card getting shipped. You know my story. Absolutely. And the thing is, what happened with Takuma when it came to his GPU? Can you imagine you order a GPU and the only the box, right? Not like a brown box that you typically get, not the typical brown shipping box, but you see the whole. You see a graphics card box sitting right there at your doorstep. Wouldn't you be nervous about it? Like, especially that it's exposed. Like, people could drive by and see that it's a RTX 50 series. But this was back when it was the RTX 3090 Ti, if I'm not mistaken. I see more of a trend mounting GPU because graphics cards weight. Yes, I could see that too. What's up? What's up, Stealth? My friend is in the chat and on the other YouTube stream. Oh, really? Awesome. I don't know about Sprout's website. I would rather pay more and buy from Amazon Germany. That website seems very, very sus. Is it really? Should we check out Sprouts? Oh, so he's Stealth X. Nice. Welcome in, Stealth X. Steel X. I have bought them from a lot of times and lots of things. Oh, really? Okay, so they're trustworthy. As long as if they're trustworthy, as long as if you can get your items. Now speaking of which, now we finally got to the bottom side of the chat. We could go into PC parts picker, right? And we could do this. Try to do a PC build. We're on the low. Let's see, start with the build. So, let's go here. Vertical chat. Shared browser. So, if you're to build a PC, let's go ahead and do this. Blue and Lily. Okay, so as long as if you have bought parts and they're a trusted shipper, then I would go ahead and do it. Go ahead, Real Men, show off your build. Would love to see it. Hopefully you guys are joining in on Discord as well. I hope to see you guys on there. Let's see. Welcome, everybody. I see we have 3 new members. Welcome into our Discord. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, so with the CPU side, you know what really has to release is the Ryzen 9600X3D. That would be a big money saver, don't you guys think? Yes. Here you go. Okay. Is it on Discord or you sent it through on chat? What's up, guys? Welcome everybody. Blue and Lily's here. Make sure I say hi to everybody that's come in. So, when is this? I bet the 9600 X3D ends up releasing next month, because that's going to be a great deal for anybody who is looking to build on a budget here. I'm multitasking the stream. Okay. That is funny. What is our limit? How much should we spend about? How much should we spend if we do this this type of PC build here? So, one of the most important components to look for, obviously, when a PC build is going to be GPU wise. Now, typically when you go into PC parts picker, they'll immediately pick CPU wise. But honestly, I feel the most important factor you want to go for is the video card side first, because then you'll have an idea of what type of CPU and what type of motherboard you'll want. So 1300, okay. So for 1300, okay. So let's do a PC build for 1300, see if it can be done. Now, if you want a decent build, you got this for about $359, which is the 7800 X3D. Now you have the 9800 X3D, you're obviously going to spend nearly $120 more. Now, again, if they had the 9600 X3D, that would certainly be the better way to go. Now, the 90, let's see. Let's see if they have the 76. Then they don't. Because that would certainly be. So, let's just go 7600 X3D. I hear people say, oh my god, I got a PC, and I ask them what site, and they say 400. That is sketchy. Okay, in chat. Okay. Either it's 9700X or 7700X. Yes. Those would certainly be awesome options. Let's see, 9700X. Let me just do it this way. Right there. It's only 316 versus 359, so we can save some money there. We can always change it out, so let's go ahead and go here. Now let's go ahead and choose the CPU cooler. Now something like this, you don't need something crazy. They have Arctic Liquid, which isn't bad. Let's go with, if we're going AIO, let's go with, let's see, AIO. We'll go by price here. And the good thing is when you use PC Parts Picker, you can be very specific about certain things. Like you could choose AM5, and you can either choose like 360. But when you build on something like this, you don't need 360. You'd be good with 240 to be honest. And they have thermal right. Some people say it's great. So pricing wise, I would choose, let's see. Since we got 1300, we could kind of expand on this a little bit. You took off screen share. Oh, did I? Oh, I apologize. There we go. Yeah, no problem. You know what it is? I put all the key commands into my my number pad. So anytime I hit it, then I accidentally get off of it. So this one's only 25.8 decibels thermal take. This one's a decent one for $80. That one's not bad, so we could go with that. Or even Cooler Masters isn't bad either. 75. So I'd say let's just go ahead. Well, to be safe, we'll just go thermal take. We'll choose theirs. And then for the motherboard side, since we got AM5, usually they'll select it. Now, since we're doing more of a budget build, what we want to do is get a decent, before we go motherboard, how about we do this? We're going to go ahead and pick the GPU since it's 1300s. Let's see if we can get a, let's see. Should we go, say, like RX 9070 XT just to get a price on that? I go to the part pickers too. I gotcha. So let's go ahead and go to 9070 XT. We'll go by price here. Out of stock. Wow, that's out of stock everywhere. ASUS Prime is out of stock. They got power color, 668, and that's going to take up quite a bit of cost. ROG is known for a very good. I'm just curious of cost here. Can we manage to do it? Let's see. Yeah, I agree. 5070 is more doable. I would say not. 5070 is doable. We can always go back and change it up too. So let's go with ROG's Steel Legend, not their motherboard. Let's go with their GPU here. So far, it's like 1066. You see? It's already 1066 already. Okay, so if it's going to be 1300, now we got to be really mindful of what else we got. Okay, so for a motherboard side, let's see what we can get here. We can go B850 or Elite Wi-Fi 7. That's actually not a bad deal, $200, but we want to save a bit of money here. Now we could go B650. Oh, I said 1300 because that's what. Oh, okay. Oh no, it makes sense. If it costs 1300, I could see why you would request it. This one's more of a white build. No wonder why it's 150 for that. So that stay away from Gigabyte B850. This is 170. This is the B850 gaming Wi-Fi. B650E, you'd say. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll click that. There we go. We got the ASUS B. I don't want to get it white. We just have to get it matching, right? Doesn't matter if we pick the colors. I feel it does, right? So we could go with the NZ XT and 7B650Es 200. That's true. But it is. I don't see it on this side. On my side, I got the. So we could go ahead and go. What if we just go ASUS Tough then? If you keep. Yeah, that's if we keep the 9070 XT. Now, if we're keeping the 9070 XT, let's go ahead. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so we're just going to throw that in. And we got 1246. Oh, man, we're cutting it close now. We're cutting it real close. So with the RAM side, let's see. And that's if we keep this. So we might have to drop. At IT lessons in my school, somehow the black keyboards had gotten slightly. Oh, really? I wonder how that happened. That's nasty. Okay. So let's go into what could we adjust here now. Now, the 9700 XT, maybe we can adjust the CPU. We'll switch this out. Instead, maybe we go down to the 9600X, which is, let's do this. Swap the GPU with a 9060 XT. Try 9060. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that then. We'll swap. Okay. So we'll swap this out. And we'll go 9060 XT. Yeah, sure. For sure. Okay, so 9060 XT. Right. Find it real quick. 9060. There we go. And let's go up. Quite a list. All right, so we got the Sapphire Pulse, much cheaper. It's half the price, so we can definitely do it with the 9060. Sapphire Pulse is a great brand too. So, oh wait, I actually saw a better one. Let me go back. I don't know if you guys saw it too, but there was an even better one that we saw here. ROG still, yes, yeah, they are very nice. In fact, they're highly recommended. They're actually one of the most quiet GPUs too, believe it or not. Like when it comes to the 90 series. Go up here. I saw it too. I don't know if you guys saw it. There's you get the XFX Swift OC for $279, which is not bad at all. So we could do that instead because we'll save a lot doing that. So There we go. Now we're back down to 856. Woo. Talk about saving money here. Now go into the memory side. Yeah, they're pretty. So the 9060 XT is certainly as competitive as the 5060 Ti. The 5060 isn't as what people think it is. Really, it's like almost like a 4050. It's not. So when they put 5060, it sounds good, but it's really like a 4050. So when we compare, let's say, now we're going to the RAM side. This we can certainly save on. I know GeForce has their 32 gigabytes flare. That one's not too bad. 6,000. Perfect combination here. It's only $100. G.Skill Ripjaw Neo is my favorite. Yeah, that G.Skill is an excellent manufacturer. So far, we got a $10 discount for a promo. And storage-wise, now storage, again, like I explained, you don't have to go PCI Express 5, completely not necessary. We could actually get some decent storage. Like here goes a Crucial P3. I actually recommend here, 1 terabyte. No RGB, yes. 32 Crucial. Okay. Why do rainbow bar PCs look good? They just do. I mean, just look at it. You can see it right there in the background. 990 Evo 2 terabytes. See, you got his true representative right here of the Evo line right there. The Evo Plus, right? This is only $69.99. Let's get the 2 terabyte version. How's that sound? Just like what you. That's a good recommendation, actually. Let's go right here. Go to Samsung. And we'll make sure to go. It's SSD. And we want to make sure that it's M.2 and that it's PCI Express 4. Hey, where'd it go? Something threw this off. All right, let me try that. Because sometimes not everything's like fit correctly in the category. So maybe that's what it is. So the Evo Plus, the 990 Pro 90, here it is. Evo Plus, they got the 2 terabyte version, 140. So that one's, ironically, this one's just a bit more. But it's the Evo, let's just go with the 1 terabyte. But I mean, we have the budget, right? We'll just put that in there anyway. Me thinking about buying a thermal take cooler, cool. But my build is white. But 50 euros is more expensive. I mean, it'll be worth it though, getting the thermal take cooler. It would match up pretty nicely. And now we just have to pick up the case, right? And the power supply. Okay, so let's pick up the case. Montech, there you go. Montech's actually a good one. Vantex XT Pro is a good case. H5 is a good one. So let's go ahead and go to this is 45, 2 internal. That doesn't really matter. Not anymore, the 3.5 bays. Remember when that used to matter? So we'll go ahead and we'll go to Vantex. Do this Vantex case, because it's a good deal. And the power supply. Power supply wise, you want to make sure to get at least 850 for something like this. Even then, that's probably a bit overkill for it, but 850 would be nice. What's up, Sapphire? Sapphinem. Right now we're just putting together a PC. 750 is actually good enough for something like this. 758, but usually I like to go a little bit over spec. 850 would definitely be the better choice. The MSI Mag A850G is really good. You'd say 750? I did this with the 9070 XT. Oh yeah? Add the mag. All right, let's go ahead. So this is 1240. I would love to know how you got the 9070 XT for 1372. Okay, so that's still slightly. So we got under budget. We got this for 1240 total. Now you have to include the operating system if you want to include it. Better to buy it off a website. You know what I mean? All right. So this is 1250 if you don't do it. Newegg is getting more and more in trouble. See, the thing is, the only thing I don't buy from Newegg is the cases. I don't like to buy the PC cases off of Newegg because I feel that anytime I ordered a PC case, it's always come in wrecked. Like the corners would be bent in, it would be damaged. Oh, so you went 7600X. Ah, that's interesting. Sorry, PUBG. I don't know what you're saying. 32 gigabytes, 6000 CL30, 1 terabyte Gen 4, and SSD P310. Not too bad. CL30, and fish tank PC case and fans. That's not bad. What type of motherboard did you pick out the bunch? Was it? So there goes a build right there. That's an example build, 1250. Sure. Yeah, feel free. Send it into it's just the name, PUBG. Is it true that you can solder VRAM? Yeah, you can, but you got to make sure if you do solder GPU, like you solder VRAM, you also have to make sure that you optimize it too, because it's not just as easy as soldering VRAM. You also have to make sure to optimize the system as well, as the BIOS really in there. Also, dang, I wish you guys had Discord. Gigabyte Eagle. Oh, okay, that's a good motherboard. If you guys had Discord, you guys could you could send your list, and then we could see it, because unfortunately they don't allow links on any of these on the chat, unfortunately. The PC cost me $1270 without peripherals. Oh, thanks. Oh wow, Twitch did that by itself right there. Oh wow. Real Man remembers the command. 32x2 6000 CL30 Trident Z5 Neo, beautiful ones going into your sim rig build. Awesome. Yeah, that's also really fun to do. Is like the PC simulator. We all got to get on it together for sure. That'd be fun. As a 360mm AIO. Yeah. Oh, really? That's not bad at all. Because I was thinking of going 360, but I just decided to opt for 2 because I feel like you don't really need it. But if you can, you can go full out. So for a quick question, for Ryzen 5 7600X, 1440p high settings at least 60 frames per second in a single player game for a 5 to 6 year build, should I get a €580 RTX 5070 or a €640 RX 9070? I would say if you had to choose between the two. Now it's funny because we all mentioned this to everybody. You want to get 16 gigabytes as your minimum. 5070 is something you don't want to get. If you do get a 5070, get the Ti version because at least you'll have 16 gigabytes. So I would say if you're going to pick between the two, save a little bit more for the 5070 Ti if you can. If you can't get the 5070 Ti and you really just want to go ahead and get the GPU, then go ahead and go to the 9060 XT. Or better yet, you could get the 9070 XT because the price difference shouldn't be that much difference if you can afford something like a 5070 Ti. And I usually recommend the 9070 XT because it is more not only the best in value, but also great for gamers out there as well. Full my gold PSU. In India or northeast side, there's a state called Mizoram, and those people. Yeah, it's funny. I hear that. I've heard of that before. No, I am not. I can make it exactly 1300 if it's a 7500F, and it's 240 millimeter AIO. 7500F is still good. It's still good, but it all depends on how much he wants to build on it. You know. So how can I download my GPU driver for my 1650 Super? It's not letting me. Now, everybody here has to unfortunately break the news to you, but this question here, I'm pretty sure everybody could tell you, or there's been quite a warning for everybody who has a 1650. Unfortunately, it's to the point now to where unfortunately you're unable to update those cards. NVIDIA says that they're going to be out of date, that they're only going to update RTX cards. So unfortunately, you've reached its end of life cycle when it comes to the 1650. So you're at the current driver version that you're on now. You're at its final state, unfortunately. Should I send it in PC hardware? In PC hardware, I sent my build to. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go into Discord here. There we go. Beautiful. So this is all for 1459. And this was through Takuma. So he has a 9700X, Arctic Freezer 36, Gigabyte B850 AORUS Elite. Awesome choice. A G.Skill Trident Z5 Royal Neo, RGB 32 gigabytes. 990 Pro 2 terabytes for 159. And he also got the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte video card, and a Vantex MV5 MK2 case, a Corsair RM850. So, should I send it? You can send it through. You can send it through the general chat, since this is all live here. That's fine. Let's see. Hey, Rioman. Right here. So you can send your list here. He can pretty much play 4K with 13. Yeah. Like if you really want to. I would love for you to send your build over Egyptian if you could. I know you don't have Discord, unfortunately. But if you get it, you can certainly send it, and then we could feature your build up here. He's probably sending his. So Rioman's sending his build. So that maintains, even if I utilize DLSS and FSR, should I really get the TI? So if you are getting the TI version, you don't have to worry about FSR. You would just have to use DLSS, because FSR is going to be an AMD thing, and FSR is AMD, and DLSS is going to be based on NVIDIA's. NVIDIA's is going to be also into frame generation, which is going to be their big thing that they're currently pushing right now. And also they have their own type of motion flow technology that's currently into their cards now as well. All right, Blue. I appreciate you came in. Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate you joined Discord. It's okay. I was playing. It happens. I made it 1300 while being still 7600, but at 240 AIO and a 7900 XT. That's not bad. That's not bad. We could choose to switch it around as always. Wait, wrong thing. Let me add the peripherals. Sure thing. Take your time. So let's try to do some adjustments here. Let's make it a bit more challenging, and instead we'll try to force a 9070 XT in and see what happens. Let's try to force it in there. 9070. Oh, hit that list. Let me go back. Oh well, I'll just scroll down, find it real quick, and now let's show less, because that's way too many. Alright, so the cheapest they have is the Power Color Reaper. Fortunately, they're out of the ASUS Prime 9070 XT. That would have to be waived, so since whatever's in stock, we'll go to 670. And now the price will jump up dramatically to 1631. Instead, let's change out the cooler. We'll change out the cooler into something more, maybe into a thermal take. Maybe. Let's go here. Let's go on to say if we still want to go AIO. There we go. Thermal rights. We can go the Aqua Elite 3. Is 1312 within 70. That's not bad at all. Wait, what's wrong? Thing let me okay. Let me know when you send it in Discord, and I'll click into the link. Okay, so in Discord, let me show you real quick. Blue and Lily showed this right before they left. Let me show you. Let's go into the Discord side. And just real quick, guys, just switching over to Discord. If you wonder why the screen went black, there you go. So this is their stuff on Discord here, because they're getting it from a company, Scrouts, Kingston MV3, B850M, not bad, Corsair Dominator, and where's the GPU side? Oh, there you go. Cooler Master, Gigabyte AORUS chain, case fan, and that's not bad. 1628 euros isn't too terrible. What's up, Harshit? Thanks for subscribing. So thank you for your help. By the way, do Gigabyte PSUs really have an explosive tendency? No, they do not. That doesn't really happen. That whole thing happened like a while ago, and I haven't heard any serious cases since then. So I really wouldn't worry about like a Gigabyte PSU blowing up. But if you were to pick a PSU, what I always highly recommend is going Seasonic. I really like Seasonic PSUs if you can get it. Seasonic has excellent PSUs. Let's take out thermal take. So far we got it to 1596, still up there in price. So we'll have to change out the CPU, and let's go AM5, but we'll drop down the price, and we'll see what they have available here. So if we're going to the lowest, 9600X is in bed, 7600X isn't too bad. Let's see. So let's try 96, just to fit that in there. And we get rid of the... Okay, so now we're down to about 1463. We're getting a little bit cheaper here. And the ASUS board we have to keep. And this, we have to change the storage device for sure. So let's go for a cheaper one. Let's go with a... We still want to get a good, decent one. So we'll go PCI Express 4. So right now we're just doing like a PC build. We're just experimenting with something to try to get it around $1,300. A PC build. And this one's not bad. 500 gigabytes, but that's too little. So right now we're just putting a build together. So you're more than welcome to join. You can join in on Discord. And feel free to post in the link. CL36 is a 6,000, usually 20. Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. So wait, let me add. So the ASUS ROG Strix 1200 watt platinum ROG Strix X870E gaming Wi-Fi Astral 5090, no overclocking cables. No, you don't have to worry about your cables melting or anything like that. You definitely made a great choice. I know the big fear is when it comes to like a build like this, you're afraid that the heat dissipation will be much more higher. But don't worry about it, Slim Shady. From at least when it comes to ASUS's products, they have been great overall. They don't really have any issues when it comes to it. I was looking for the UD850L version. So this is going to be based on a gaming type of build. To answer Yadav, and again, anybody's welcome in to join. So right now we're just building PC around like $1,300. See what we can pull off real quick. All right, so we're gonna take that off because we don't need that. Now we got it 1378, not too bad, right? We're getting it around 1378. We're getting closer to the price that we're looking for. But you have a 9070 XT. So I got it to 13. Oh, really? 1337 with the 600X. That's not. Yeah, you could definitely probably get it a lot closer. Are Platinum Gold PSUs worth it? Now, that's a great question. They are 100% worth it. The reason being is because it's more for energy efficiency. Now, does it affect build quality? If it's Platinum, does it mean the build quality is better? Not necessarily. When it comes to a Platinum or Gold power supply, it means if you get Gold, it's about 90% power efficient. If you get Platinum, it's about 95% power efficient. And they have this new one that's I always forget what it's called, but Wasabi remembers it real well. I can't remember it, but it's another tier that's higher where it's about 98% efficient. And really, that again, this is more about energy efficiency. So you'll see more power savings when it comes to your electric bill. That's when it matters. So I got 1337 for, okay, so let me go back here, and how about we do this? We'll change out the 9600X, and we'll change it out just like how Egyptian has it. And we'll instead we'll go 7600X because it's more the cheaper option. We could go ahead and do the 57, but now it's at 1362. So not too bad, 1337. It's titanium. Oh, really? Updated the link. Okay, awesome. So we'll check it out. Me about the PS. Somebody mentioned it. I thought Wasabi mentioned it. Somebody mentioned there is a tier higher than Platinum. Well, what was it? I'm about to look it up real quick. And afterwards, I'll click on Ryumin's link because he'll have his build ready. Platinum power ratings, power supply, power rating. New 2025 standard. What is it? 2025 includes efficiency. Okay, new power supply rating after Platinum. Titanium, that's what it's called. It was slipping my mind here. So they have a new one, it's called Titanium. It looks like this. So that's the new one, if anybody's curious. Which is insane. They have already all these ratings, and then they add Titanium, which kind of throws it off, because I always think of Platinum as the highest, and Titanium is the newest one that's like the best. So let's go ahead and click on Discord here. We're going to go check out Ryumin's link. I am $155 over. Yeah, Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to go to the PC hardware side, and here it is. So we got Takuma's link, which is, and we also will click onto Ryumin's link. So first we'll go over Takuma's link. Takuma has 9700X, not bad. 1704. Is this the same one? Oh, Arctic Freezer 36. Gigabyte B850 AORUS Elite Wi-Fi 7. Has a G.Skill Trident Z5 Royal Neo. Also, Samsung 990 Pro, 2 terabytes, XFX 9060 XT. Has a Vantex MV5 MK2, a Corsair RM850, Vantex D30. This is like an excellent build here because he even has like the case fans and everything. That's a very decent build. Like if you want a nice one. Sounds like a diminishing return. So let's go ahead and check out the. I got 1328 for the 9070 XT. Oh, you're close. You're really close to that mile marker, Egyptian. So for when it comes to the side of now Realman's side. Now in Realman's side, he has a 184 9600. He also has the MSI Mag Core Liquid A15. This is probably the build you want to build, right? I'm guessing maybe. MSI B850, B840 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard, G.Skill Rip Jaw M5 Neo RGB, nice. MSI Spatium 1TB drive. You have the MSI Spatium 1TB drive, so that's 2. I'm assuming you put 2 by accident. You probably meant to just put the 1. And the palette, because you have 2 1TB drives. Oh, that's your current build. Oh, okay. You had the Palette Infinity 3 overclock GeForce RTX 5060 Ti. You also have the Antec CX300, MSI MPG A750F, AOC. Oh, nice. That is decent. Your build's pretty decent, I gotta say. That is a nice build. So 2K on a PC with a 6 screen. Dude. Okay. All right. Let's go check out the new link. Let me exit out of all these PC part picker list. I have a ton. So many. Okay. So let's go back here. Go into Discord. Okay. So 7700X. Oh, here we go. 1453. Arctic Freezer RGB. And we have the Gigabyte B850 AORUS Elite Wi-Fi 7, G.Skill Trident Z5 Royal Neo, and we also have the Trident Z5, Crucials P3 plus 2 terabytes, XFX with OC Radeon RX 9060 XT, and NZXT H9 Flow with the MSI Mag A850GL, 850 watt, 80 watt power supply. The keyboard mouse is where it's expensive, but I love Razer products. I get it. I can get it. I originally, it's funny, like one of the top keyboards that I ended up purchasing originally was a Black Widow from Razer. And that was like my first like real true gaming keyboard. Because as a kid, when I was younger, I only thought like having a wireless keyboard and mouse was good enough, ironically. But I really didn't mean anything. Instead, I was making more trouble for myself, and ended up. And then until I switched over to like a real gaming keyboard and mouse, you could see quite the difference. Now the keyboard, it was 145 and the mouse was 45. Now Takuma's build, definitely an excellent choice. And let's go here to this side. Let's see, go back to the general side. Oh, what's up? Welcome in. Welcome to the Discord channel. Now, let's go ahead and go back here. Oh, I think I exited my build. Oh no, my parts list is gone. I think I exited my own. It's alright. Maybe it'll pop up again. If I go, I probably got to start fresh again, I bet, right? Oh no, it's right there. Good. So this is how far we got it, 1362. We could get it cheaper, I'm pretty sure. If we really wanted to. There's probably I bet there's a cheaper motherboard out there. And if we go ahead and go with a cheaper motherboard, it's going to be something like this. Let's see. My friend made a great offer for free. He changed the CPU for the Ryzen 5 7600 to the 9600X for free. That was really nice. Let's see. Okay. So we'll go just the price. And this will be funny. Who wants to risk their life for an ASUS ROG B650? Okay. So, of course they're going to be on the lower tier. A620M, a small motherboard. Gigabyte B650M. Gaming Plus. There we go. How about that? We'll switch over to that. And see our price. $1292. We did it. We're under $1,300. So we got AMD Ryzen 5 7600, Thermal Bright Aqua Elite version 3, and Gigabyte B650M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard with G.Skill Flare X5s, Patriot P400 lights, Power Color Reaper Radeon RX 9070 XT, and a Vertex XT Pro ATX with MSI Mag A750GL. So my friend made a great. So far we did pretty good. This was fun. I love the idea, Egyptian. Glad you brought it up. We all, you know what we all got to do is we all got to go ahead and get like a PC simulator, the PC building simulator. I guess they're on the second version. And have anybody out there want to go ahead and take advantage of any of the deals that they have for Steam? Because Steam has some great deals that are going on. They have the fall sale. And during the fall sale, you can certainly pick up a lot of great titles for a great deal. And certainly something to take advantage of if there's some games that you've always wanted. Ironically, I bought a bunch of titles in the summer Steam sale, and I never got to play one of them, I think, which is insane. I just been still stuck on playing Elden Ring. And I haven't really got to get back into gaming as much as I wanted to because I've been really wanting to push some content out for you guys too. Is it better to get the 9600X? It is, but it's again, that's just we're just trying to go under budget here. I got 1318, but it probably looks better, and the ATX motherboard is a Gigabyte Eagle. It's better, especially if it is I say Gigabyte Eagle. Again, it's it's all on preference side, like how much they really want to spend, if they're willing to overspend any of their budget. So you haven't talked about FSR4 on RDNA 3, and yeah, that's true. I should really talk about those subjects because it's quite the difference. If you see FSR4 versus FSR3, it's quite the evolution. It's quite the change between the two. As FSR3, I can say, is definitely a lot more blurrier. It's not as clear. It's almost like you're looking at a 480, like watching a 480 video versus something that's like at least 1080p, something that's HD. It's that much of a difference, between FSR4 and FSR3. And FSR2, you can imagine how that's like. So I got a great deal. Destiny 2 DLC, 4 of them, with about a couple of dungeons for $8. That's great. That's under $10. You can't say no to that. I bought the Dark Souls trilogy and 3 more games. Awesome. You know what I heard that's really good? That's a game similar to Dark Souls, is Another Crab's Treasure. I heard that's a fun game that's like Dark Souls, where you're this hermit crab, and every type of shell that you end up picking up in the bottom of the ocean, it could be all different kinds of things, like banana peels. It could be a regular hard shell. It could be a soda can. It could be all kinds of stuff. And each one of those different shells gives you different abilities, and you fight different bosses with those different shells. One boss might be weak against a certain type of shell. Actually, I got it $1 cheaper. Oh. So I'm the only one with hunting on G2. I'm the only one hunting on G2A and Aneba. Oh, really? G2A and Aneba. I gotta say, I'm curious though. You know what? It just kind of sucks because I'm thinking of going onto Steam, but Steam's on the other build that I have. This one right now is just the Focus Stream build, and we could definitely take a look into it. But just to let everybody know out there, if you're just tuning in, if you're just coming into the channel, I'm Chris Mizo. We talk about PC and tech, and if you want to ask any questions, you can feel free to ask. Right now, what we were just talking about is we just went on PC Parts Picker, tried to figure out a PC build around $1,300. We were all just having fun, getting good ideas of like what we can build the cheapest. And also we were thinking of like PC Simulator 2 if anybody's interested in joining that. Also, feel free to join in our Discord. It's right down in the description box down below. You're more than welcome to. So you have 1308 now. I have one thing I don't. So I've been playing Apex all day, and my GPU usage is FPS fluctuates. Is that normal? That's going to be normal, especially if, because Apex Legends isn't really all that demanding. Games that are demanding, they will use 100% of your GPU most times. Eventually, if you play games like Apex Legends, you'll notice your GPU usage won't be fully utilized, especially if it doesn't really demand that much from it. Now, the only time you really experience a problem is if you see more CPU usage than GPU usage, because then that's just more of a CPU bottleneck. But more or so cases, you're not going to face some sort of bottleneck, especially from Apex Legends, I'll tell you that. Okay, awesome, Wasabi. I'm just about to head out soon myself. And I thank everybody who has been joining into the live. Seems Takuma has a link for his build. Let's go check it out. Takuma has a wonderful build. I love this build, I gotta say. Take a look at this. So this is all Takuma's build. He has an AMD Ryzen 9950 X3D. He also has a Vantex Glacier 1 at 360D30. Also has Gigabyte X870E, AORUS Pro Ice. Also has G.Skill Trident Z5 Royal Neo RGB 64 gigabytes. Samsung's 860 EVO 4 terabytes. Man, that's you got space. I wish I had that much space. As I had no idea. Yeah, I know you had space, but damn, you have a lot of space. That's like almost 20 terabytes. I need that space badly. ASUS ROG Astral Overclock. He also has the Vantex MV7 ATX full tower case. Lee Edge 1300 watts. That is one hell of a build. But look at that total. That's insane. $7,000. But man, that's quite a beautiful beast you got there. I found a Vantex Eclipse G370, a PC case for $40, and it comes with, that's not bad. And it comes with 3 fans. So 60 degrees with full max settings. Yeah, for the most part, 60 degrees is normal. The average you'll see GPU temperatures reach is about between exactly that, like around 70s, even the normal mark. A 60 is actually pretty cool for a GPU. And I wouldn't worry about it too much. It sounds like you're handling it perfectly well. Your PC is handling it well. So, fam guys, I have to get going myself. I have to thank you guys, everybody, for joining in personally. And make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it. Make sure to check out Twitch and also check out X as well, as I am also on there. Feel free to join Discord. It's free. And I do have memberships if you're willing to join in. See where that goes. It's not gonna, I promise you, it's not going to be $30 a month like Xbox. It's much, much cheaper. And I thank you guys again so much for coming in and watching. We have a lot more content that is coming out soon. There's going to be the S25 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max that's going to be coming out hopefully by today. And I'm going to have another video released tomorrow, typical PC type of video about enabling TPM 2.0, especially that Battlefield 6 is coming out soon. You guys have to be wary of that. Make sure that it is enabled. And also, we will be talking about Amazon Prime Day that's coming up real soon. And maybe a video, maybe a live. Maybe we do a bit of both. We'll see. But definitely, we'll check it out. And No problem, guys. I really appreciate you all for coming in, and I thank everybody who is part of the channel and making this all possible. And I really hope to see you soon, and hope to see you guys in the after party in Discord. Thanks so much for coming in and to this wonderful channel. Oh, I went to the test screen. That's hilarious. But thanks so much, guys. Much love to everybody.